Hey everyone, my name's Jared Myers. I'm the Senior Sales Director at Cloudwerx. I'm joined this morning by Rich Wiltshire, CIO of Australian Computer Society. Today we're going to be talking a bit about our partnership, the skilled migration projects that we've been working on together, and learn a bit more about Rich's take on the industry at large. Welcome, Rich.
Thank you.
So Rich, tell me a little bit about the ACS, or the Australian Computer Society as it's known, about some of the services and the functions that you guys play in the community.
So we focus on skilled migration, workforce development, really advocating for IT as an industry right across the Australian government, both at a national and a state level.
As someone who works in this space, ICT or information technology, software development, whatever it is, as a member, I've been involved in events. I get you guys' emails, and to be fair, it's really on topic. I often get an email on a Wednesday and it's related to something that, a story on the weekend or something. So you guys are really, I guess, on trend. You guys are at the coalface, I guess. ICT professionals must be, I don't know how many people that represents around the country, but it must be hundreds of thousands these days.
We've got some really audacious goals to grow that by another 1.5 million over the next 7 years.
1.5 million skilled people.
Yeah.
And I know that the last 3 years would have been a bit of a challenge or a mixed bag. The pandemic being something that essentially shut borders, so skilled migration wasn't even an option. What have you seen in the last, I guess, few months maybe as international travel's opened up? But more broadly, how has the last 3 years impacted that? What are the macro trends, I guess, in the IT space in terms of the skills shortages?
Yeah, look, I think the skills shortages hurt everyone. It's a real struggle to get the right talent in at the right times. Everyone's also leading into large digital transformations at the moment, so there's a big drive for technology professionals. Work from home paused a lot of large digital transformations within organisations, and they're now kicking off. So they're running in earnest at the moment. So there's a huge demand on highly skilled resources in Australia.
And tell us a bit about that particular program that you guys run. You've got 7 or 8 different business units, obviously, but one of the big ones is the government program for assessing and approving pathways for skilled migrants. You're in charge of the ICT, one of those. There must be 30 or 40 odd programs around the country. We're talking engineers, nurses, doctors, but you're focused on the ICT kind of profession. Tell us a bit about that program, how it works.
So we work with the Department of Home Affairs, so DOHA, to assess skills for migrants coming into the country around the IT profession. So much like Engineers Australia do the same for engineering, we cover the whole gamut of IT professional skills.
So you're really at the coalface. You see, the backlog, like how many people are trying to come in, but also from your members' perspective, I guess you've got an idea of the demand. So can you tell us a bit about how those numbers have kind of fluctuated over the last few years? Obviously there was nothing for a while. Have you seen an influx of interest in people, skilled migrants coming to Australia in the IT sector?
Both the demand and the skilled migrants coming into the country are starting to ramp up at the moment, and that's a sigh of relief for a lot of people that have been trying to get large programs off the ground for a number of months. I think the reality is we do need to rethink how we skill up IT professionals both at home and bringing them in from abroad.
Yeah, and you guys are involved in training and events. I've seen recently you're running webinars on things like cybersecurity, which is a pretty hot topic at the moment. I'm sure the list of cybersecurity jobs out there is growing. What role, in terms of educating the marketplace broadly, but also individuals, organisations like Cloudwerx is full of IT professionals. What kind of what's the strategy around events and engagement? So you must hear a lot at these events of what's on topic from your members.
So professional development from the membership side of the business is a critical part of what we do. So we are taking IT professionals and developing them as they see fit. So there has been a huge swing towards cybersecurity. There is a huge swing towards digital transformation as well. So we're developing content appropriate for the changes or the pivots that Australia is taking in the IT sector.
We've talked a bit about ACS's role externally, and you as a CIO probably playing a role in that, but internally, so you're leading digital transformation for your own organisation. You've been around for 60 years. I'm assuming that you haven't got too many legacy systems that are 60 years old, but you'll have some that, every business does, that they're constantly evolving and transforming, but also processes, new initiatives.
Yep.
Tell us a bit about what's going on at the ACS under your remit.
So yeah, we're no different to any other organisation. In technology is quite cyclical. We have technology that has been around for a while and it needs a replacement or a refresh. We're currently embarking on our own digital transformation. We're taking that from a full organisational perspective, so it is an organisational transformation that we're driving. We're tying in those people, the process and the technology to really build new capabilities across the organisation, or build and redefine capabilities across the organisation on really a member needs basis. So taking that very member focused lens and using UX and UI designers to build new interfaces and capabilities across the technology stack, and then redefine that throughout the organisation.
I really like the way you talk about it as a transformation. A lot of people say digital transformation or digital initiatives, and having worked with you already for the last little while, we've seen the focus on transformation of the business as a whole, rather than just offering new platforms or new technologies, actually looking at your why, your purpose, each of the business units, and how you can improve, not just from the technology perspective. Can you tell us a little bit about why that is, and what you see around the collaboration between business process change and technology change?
Sure. I guess I'm a huge advocate of the term people, process and technology, and running it in that order. Having the right people in the teams is critically important, but equally having the good processes or redefined processes are important. And then at the end is the technology. So all too often you see digital transformations fail because they're very technology focused. You do need to take that whole of organisation perspective. We're coining the term internally a capability-led digital transformation. So we're taking an entire capability within the organisation and transforming that, focusing on the people, getting them into the right roles and the right functions, getting the right processes within the organisation so they're efficient, we can move quickly and we can deliver capability at speed, and then finally getting the technology to enable that across the organisation. So getting efficient tech in to enable people to be able to deliver what they've set out to achieve.
I'm going to go back a little bit to the chat we had before about skills shortages. You're not immune to, I guess, the challenges internally. You've got a technology team, and I want to talk about our role within that. Obviously, we're here today a little bit to talk about Cloudwerx and what we offer. I'm not going to lie. Can you tell us a bit about the different ways that you've found, Cloudwerx, but also just vendor and partner capabilities have been able to combine with your team's own skills and experiences to assist in, I guess, your BAU or the general running, but also some of these new projects that you're running. Can you tell me firstly a bit about how you're using vendors like us to combine with your team just to kind of run the day-to-day technology platforms?
Yeah, so I guess when I came into the organisation 18 months ago, the team was quite lean. There were some challenges within the organisational culture, and we needed to re-establish or rebuild a lot of the IT team. So getting that institutional knowledge into the team was critically important for me. So institutional knowledge is the people that know how the systems work and why they're put together. But then as a small to medium business, we can't afford to scale up to be able to deliver a lot of what we're doing. So we need to partner with organisations. So I'm reminded of the term, if you outsource your problems, they're still your problems. Which I think we need to carry as leaders within technology. We can't just outsource something to an organisation and hope that those problems will go away, because they won't. You do need to have capability in the technologies that you're intending to partner with, and then use organisations such as yourself to flex up as we need to. So that flex at the moment, we're flexing quite significantly. We're running a large digital transformation right across the organisation, and we're scaling up the team quite significantly. The last 18 months, we've worked about getting our working processes and practices within IT ready to be able to do this flexing, and it's working quite well.
So Cloudwerx as a Salesforce and a MuleSoft partner, obviously they're technologies you guys use at ACS, and we've been able to kind of support different teams in different ways. But this new initiative, which you talk about, the not just a digital transformation, but a transformation of people for process and technology. We've been involved in that with you from I guess an enterprise architect standpoint, working alongside your architects and some business process mapping, and obviously we're looking to new technology solutions, or at least new solutions going forward. What have you found helpful in the way that Cloudwerx as a partner has been able to, you talk about this like flex from a sense of up and down, but I think also from capabilities that you might not need to hire full time. That flexibility Cloudwerx has been able to provide for you. What has that meant to the team? What has that brought to your team?
So it's brought some fresh ideas. So we're focused very insular at our actual platforms, whereas you're working across multiple different clients, and bringing in that DNA from other organisations and sort of infecting our own team in the way that we think about things has been one of the, I suppose, the unfunded benefits of working with Cloudwerx. So we spoke about in the past the assessments process and how it's aligned much like a mortgage application process or a claims process. So bringing that thinking, that design thinking into the platforms that we have has made a huge difference.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point you make. Sometimes we don't even know that ourselves as we come into one of our partners' processes and we're looking at how to improve things, and you just naturally pick off the shelf in your experience things like, oh, that's a bit like a bank, or that's a bit like an insurance company or education provider, which we work with. And I feel like that is a strength of any good partner, but also making sure that you focus on the individual needs at the coalface. And I guess that leads me to that idea of the UX and the UI, and making sure the user experience, I guess from an ACS staff point of view, but also your member or your applicant or your customer experience being thought of. And can you tell me a little bit more about how ACS is thinking from a UX perspective to make sure that new technology doesn't just replace old ways of working with faster or shinier ways of the old process, but really embedding the need to focus on their individual needs, I guess, of the new platforms or products.
So we're taking an experience-led approach to designing all of our platforms. So up front, we're designing the interfaces that both our members and our staff will use. That gets a lot of buy-in from an employee perspective and also from a membership perspective. So they can see the platforms and how they're going to function before we actually do the hard wiring underneath. The benefit of that is we get a stronger buy-in. Our change management approach is a lot easier because they've seen what the platforms will look like up front. Whereas if you take a big bang approach and you just launch a new platform on a team after 18 months worth of development, you then have a long change management tail to address to get people on board.
Yeah, and I feel like we're really aligned in that idea of understanding pain points together, which we've kind of done a lot of, and what needs to change in a process to make it quicker or faster or more efficient or more cost effective. But before jumping into here's your new technology, providing design concepts or wireframes or prototypes, or just giving your end users an understanding of what that new experience will look like and even feel like before going and building and then showcasing things to people after the bricks are laid and the mortar is dry, an experience they're not quite yet comfortable with. So I really appreciate our I guess, collaboration on that as a kind of client vendor, which is merely more of a partnership. I want to, I guess, move on to the future.
Yep.
So Cloudwerx and ACS have had a great partnership for the last year, and we're working in a range of areas. What do you see in 2023 as, I guess, the most exciting as results start to fly out the door and we start to kind of go live with different initiatives? What are you most excited about over the next 12 months, I guess, in our partnership and in your transformation?
So I guess from a capability perspective, we've got a bunch of very hairy and audacious goals. So we're looking at some rather obscene North Stars, and we want to strive towards achieving as much of that as we can. So I guess looking forward to seeing if we can achieve that. We are challenging the status quo right across the organisation, and we're taking a lot of new and evolving technology concepts to the platforms and seeing if they fit. So I guess one of the benefits of being part of the Australian Computer Society and sort of leading internal IT is I'm seeing at the coalface the evolution and the change of technology at a rapid pace, and I'm able to bring that into the organisation, and we have support from our management and our membership to bring in those new and exciting concepts.
Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Rich, for your insights. It's definitely an exciting place to be at the Australian Computer Society with the transformation that you're running, but also really excited about what the next year or two holds for the industry at large, and I guess your role within it. So thank you for joining. I'm really excited about the next 12 months as well. Thank you for everyone for watching, listening, and we look forward to seeing you on the next iteration of this, maybe in 6 or 12 months, looking back at some of the great things we've achieved.
Look forward to it.
Thanks, Rich.
Thank you.